The eighth prince of Eastern Continent Kingdom, Mo Lianqing, was convinced that this woman who committed suicide for the eldest prince must be a spy planted by the Chu family. However, the second miss of the Chu family often had unreasonable words and deeds, which made Mo Lianqing a little interested in her. Mo Lianqing learned from you how that Chu tanner beat his two concubines. Not only he did not get angry, but praised Chu tanner's ability. When Mo Lianqing was dizzy and tired recently, he often thought of the voice of his grandfather in his mind. He grew up under the grandpa's knees since he was a child, and he had a deep relationship with this old man. What kept him awake at night was that the grandfather only passed on the imperial decree to him. For the position of the heir with real power, this old man was not sure about letting whom to take it. In the boudoir, Jing Axian leaned over and rubbed Chu Tanner's feet. Just now, Chu Tanner gave the lessons to Mo Lianqing's two domineering concubines. She found it enjoyable. However, Jing Axian felt that Chu Tanner should please Mo Lianqing a lot. But the most interesting thing for Chu Tanner was to find the ancient bed. After all, it had a great relationship with her transmigration here. The night was dark, cuckoo chanted. The officers and soldiers of the eighth prince's mansion began to patrol. Clothes covering their faces, a man and a woman in cloaks and coats waved their arms in the air, landed silently, and easily sneaked into the prince's mansion. The two behaved suspiciously and hid half of their faces. After a few words of conversation, the two came to the back door of the palace. The two of them suddenly took off their hats and showed up. The man showed a red mark between his eyebrows, the woman pulled out her hands and used the power on the man at the back. After a while, a cloud of erratic black smoke formed in mid-air. The center of the black smoke was scattered with red light, but the two claimed that the black gas was their master. There was a human voice in the black air, and it gave the two of them an order. Only then did they know that the purpose of the two people coming to Eastern Continent Kingdom was to find the so-called soul-suppressing beads. Chu Tanner stepped on the ladder and climbed up the wall again, and after a few words of comfort with Jing Axian, she wanted to leave the eighth prince's mansion. As soon as she finished speaking, the eighth prince, Mo Lianqing, appeared behind the grass curtain. Mo Lianqing always thought that Chu Tanner was an eyeliner sent by the Chu family to be placed beside him. But Chu Tanner didn't like to hear these words. She had an idea and climbed up the wall on the grounds of being homesick and looking away. She thought she could escape Mo Lianqing's investigation. But the day after tomorrow was the day to return home, and it's not too late to chat with parents. Chu Tanner had no temper on what Mo Lianqing said, so she obediently got off the ladder and went back to the room. Mo Lianqing asked you how to inform the Empress Dowager when he would return to the palace, but there was a trace of sadness on his face. At this time, his feelings for the Queen Mother were still uncertain. Although she was not a good person, she was a person who sincerely helped Mo Lianqing from all over the country. The second miss of the Chu family who woke up today was gentle and graceful. She originally came to ask Mo Lianqing to come back with her, but unexpectedly, Mo Lianqing yawned and refused to return this time because of his poor health. In desperation, the second miss of the Chu family could only go home alone. There were rules for married women's returning home, that they must be accompanied by their husbands when they return home, otherwise it would be considered humiliating to the family and a laughingstock by people. While Mo Lianqing was drinking alone in the study room, the two men and women in cloaks and coats suddenly appeared. The two wanted to use him at the same time on the grounds of helping Mo Lianqing ascend to the throne. Mo Lianqing refused and showed no mercy in the language, and the three fought. Mo Lianqing's martial arts were strong, and after a few moves, the two were defeated and hurriedly fled. Chu Tanner returned to Chu's mansion alone, which really made Father Chu and the eldest lady angry. Under the coercion of the eldest lady, Chu Tanner was needled again by the eldest lady. The dizzy Chu Tanner woke up and turned into Chu Tanner. Chu Tanner felt the pain all over her body, and when she saw the eldest lady standing in front of her with a fierce face, she knew that it was the eldest lady hurt her. She got up angrily, waved her hand to grab the eldest lady, and the eldest lady angrily called someone to stop her. At this time, the eighth prince, Mo Lianqing, suddenly arrived, causing Father Chu and the eldest lady, who were executing Chu Tanner, to be incoherent. Mo Lianqing's words were thorny, but every sentence defended Chu Tanner. Chu's father gave up and dared not speak. Mo Lianqing protected Chu Tanner, but Chu Tanner didn't know why the eighth prince suddenly cared about her so much. At this time, they were rushing to the other courtyard of the Empress Dowager, and Chu Tanner babbled all the way, causing Mo Lianqing to be very dissatisfied. The leaves were green and flowers were bright, and the colorful butterflies were flying. In this pavilion filled with delicious jade, the Queen Mother waited for a long time among the servants. She was full of joy when seeing Mo Lianqing, but was not satisfied with this concubine Chu Tanner. Zhao Qingyun, the master of the Marquis of Anil, who grew up with Mo Lianqing since childhood, came over after hearing the news, and stood beside Mo Lianqing. Hearing Zhao Qingyun intended to walk in the garden with Mo Lianqing in Qingyun County, Chu Tanner was just about to leave. But Mo Lianqing refused, insisting that Chu Tanner stayed here with him. After some struggle, Mo Lianqing couldn't help but forced a kiss on Chu Tanner, and deliberately showed it to Zhao Qingyun. But Chu Tanner, who was taken away from the first kiss, didn't seem to know about it. After breaking free, she raised her hand to fight back at Mo Lianqing.